We are going to go over the top 5 important categories to consider before you buy your first or your only car as a student. And category number 1 on our list is funness. Funness consists of 2 subcategories, which are satisfaction and beatability. So satisfaction really describes how engaging the car is to drive. So, does it make a nice noise? Is the engine exciting and lively? Is the steering precise and the chassis well honed? Can you actually reach orgasm from the driving experience? These are all important questions to consider. Also important is whether the car has enough power to break loose one or more of the tires, as this can greatly add to the driving satisfaction and thus the fun. Beatability describes how reliable and rugged the car is, with a nice beatable ride such as basically any Honda. You know that you can romp on it all day long without ever worrying about breaking it. This actually adds a lot to the funness of the car. And the next category we have is the coolness. You need your car to be somewhat cool, and that factor is made up of 2 subcategories, which are looks and the reputation. So looks describe, obviously, how good the car looks. They are very subjective, and the attractiveness of your car will increase as you own it for longer. But it's great to start out with something that you can be proud of. Also, it's good if there are a lot of small, cheap mods that you can do to improve the look and really make it unique and make it your own. So reputation actually has nothing to do with the looks, but is also important for coolness. For instance, an NA Miata is quite ugly, but anyone who knows cars will give you a sort of knowing nod when they see you because it has a reputation for being a cool car, even though it's ugly. This is also why the E60 M5 is cool, even though it's extremely ugly. The next category on our list is the Costness. Costness of your car describes how much it costs to buy one, and then once you buy it, describes how financially crippling it'll be to keep it running. Buyability describes the supply and demand of these cars. If there are plenty available, then the prices will likely be lower and it'll be easier to get one. Think like a Honda Civic. But if they happen to be rare, then it'll be more expensive and harder to get a good example, like maybe a Supra, for instance. The other category in costness is the running costs. So this describes how much gas it guzzles, how often it breaks, and how much it costs to repair in labor and parts. So if it has a big engine, then gas will cost more, as will repairs because they're usually more of a pain in the ass with less room around the engine. Using an Audi S4 as example, you have a big engine that's also unreliable, and it costs a fortune for parts. So you're gonna be kicked in the face financially by that car. The next category is practicality. This means how much you can do with just this car. Since you're a student, you're gonna need to use this car for many things. You'll find yourself needing to take your friends to the liquor store once the beer runs out, to hide a body once you accidentally hit someone, to go camping or road trips, whatever. So practicality describes the amount of storage for people and things, as well as the versatility of your ride. As far as storage goes, how many seats, doors, and units of storage volume does it have? Something like a Mazda Protege has 4 doors, 5 seats, and a hatchback style, which means it has tons of storage for like any activity. A Miata, on the other hand, has only 2 seats, 2 doors, and a puny trunk, so it's rubbish for things like camping. The versatility, on the other hand, talks about how the car behaves in different environments. Ideally, you want something that munches miles on the freeway.
No idea, mate. It's phenomenal. It goes like a...
Is an efficient city slicker.
No, it's not gonna fit. Sorry.
And also a beast off-road. But you usually can't get all 3. For instance, if a car has short gears, it'll be quick and nippy in the city, but it'll be a headache on the freeway. And something long and low will be more stable and efficient on the freeway, but utterly incapable off-road. And now we move on to the final category, which is safeness. So, since you're a student, you're likely under 20 years old, which statistically puts you to be 3 times as likely to be turned into Stephen Hawking due to your driving than someone over 20. And your parents worked hard to make sure you would survive to this age, so if you get killed, they're gonna be pissed, and they're probably gonna take their own lives so they can come into the afterlife and beat your ass for dying. So in this category is the category of airbags. Not all cars we will look at will have them, but they greatly increase safety, so they're really good to have. Also important is, can you keep the steering wheel that contains them? Like, my Miata has an airbag in the steering wheel, but it's also extremely ugly, so I had to remove it, and now, if I get in an accident, I'm more likely to become a vegetable than to walk away from it. And the other category within this category is the tin can status of your car. Older and smaller cars are just built like tin cans. So if Jeff, drunk driving his F-150, sideswiped you after running a red light, would you become like a sardine in a can, but instead of oil surrounding you, it's just blood? If so, then your car is a tin can and it's not very safe. So, when you're looking at cars to buy, you should consider those 5 categories: funness, coolness, costness, practicality, and safeness. Also, check out my playlist where I give you about 15 million different car choices, all scored based on this system here. And as a bonus in that playlist, I made a table which lets you compare the scores of all the different car choices I have, which will help you find the perfect car.